Welcome to Agents of Screen. We
Lame.
are now we are doing a special podcast today talking about the MCU. I'm James. This is
Marvel
Rob.
Comics.
Yeah, it's Rob, Black Rob.
That's it.
And then
Black
we
Rob.
also have a special guest, which is Ed.
Good.
I don't appreciate being called a special guest. I'm a starring member of Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N.
Alright, cool. When's the last time man's on a podcast? Anyway.
Oh, yeah. So we have the grand wizard of the MSL Marvel
God.
Supremacist Defense League. That's Ed.
Here we go.
Grand Wizard.
I've been invited to do a centre-right normal podcast.
I thought you weren't a special guest, so why you invited?
Grand Wizard. Grand Wizard.
I thought you weren't a special guest, so wouldn't that mean you're not invited? You should just be here. Technically, just saying.
Okay.
All right, let's do the questions. So Ed, Grand Wizard Ed. Right. So here's a question for you, man. How long have you been a Marvel fan for, and why?
How long have I been a Marvel fan, and why?
Yeah.
Well, I've been a fan of comic books in general for, mate, as long as I can remember, man. I grew up in a comic book household. Whether it was comic books,
Marvel
whether
house.
it was.
Yeah.
Nah, see, look, you're trying it. Look, listen, forget that. I was grew up in a comic book household. Whether it was like, obviously I got 3 older brothers, and TV shows. They were always watching, the X-Men cartoon, Spider-Man cartoon. Like I was brought up on that. So when I was in school, while my school friends were watching like Barney and all them kind of things, I was watching what my brothers were watching. So yeah, man, I've always been a fan of sort of comic books and animation as long as I can remember.
Oh, man. So who's one of your favorite characters? Or to be honest, that's one of those hard damn questions to make it easier. So out of Marvel, name 5 of your favorite characters.
5 of my top characters. Yeah, I mean,
and one group.
Okay. Obviously, Captain America is my number one sort of.
Jeez.
Yeah, come on, Captain America.
Jeez.
Always Cap. Even back when we all used to play Marvel Alliance, Ultimate Alliance, that game on PlayStation.
Sick game on Xbox.
Yeah.
Good game.
No, on PlayStation.
Good game.
No, Xbox.
But yeah, Captain America and Deadpool were my 2 selections. So those 2 definitely in my.
Hating on Deadpool for? Allow hating on Wade Wilson, bruv. Rob.
Wait, who's hating?
Rob, of course. Classic Rob.
Rob, how can you hate on Deadpool?
I'm actually curious about this.
I never said anything. I never said anything.
You were very distraught when he said Deadpool, bro.
Okay, look.
Very distraught.
No. In the comics, it's sick. In the comics, it's sick. But the movie, I just did not like the movie. I just thought it was just like.
Wait, hold on. That is a sick portrayal of Deadpool in the movie.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I just don't.
You need to explain this now.
I just didn't
this
like
is not acceptable. I hope you're talking about Wolverine film and not the actual Deadpool.
Is that the one
film.
you're talking about?
Wait, hold on. Was he in Wolverine?
Yeah, the first Wolverine film, that terrible Wolverine film that no one will ever mention again after this podcast.
You just did. Oh, okay.
Yeah, after this podcast. Yeah, so that's it. I avoid the CJ. But yeah, like he. So like yeah, like no, like that was a waste man version of Deadpool. But if you're talking about the one that actually was a proper Deadpool film, I don't know what you're talking about because that was actually a sick portrayal.
No, I am on about the proper Deadpool movie. That's what I'm on about.
I want 3 solid reasons why.
I can't even.
What's that?
Wow!
Do you see what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about, people? The MSL DL has risen.
No. All right, let me say something.
You need to.
If you dare speak out against Marvel, your ass is greenlit.
No. It's the opposite actually. Deadpool was made by Fox, not Marvel, right? So what I'm saying is, one of the only films that Fox have made where we're like, right, they actually done a good job with one of the Marvel characters.
I agree. I agree with that. I will fully agree with that. I will agree with that. Like, out of all of the Marvel films Fox has done, that film, Deadpool, it just, it spits
what are we talking about?
But compared to
when your pain points.
It was the storyline was lame. the what's it called? The acting was a joke. Was just too much forced jokes, and yeah, and some of the
You realise you're watching a Deadpool film, though, yeah?
I know.
You realise man breaks the fourth wall on a regular basis, right?
Say that again.
You'd realise he breaks the fourth wall on a regular basis, right?
Yeah, does that don't mean nothing to me? I mean, Darkseid can do that any day. But anyway, but yeah, those are my reasons. Man. I just didn't like the film. That 2000. I was just like, okay, this is cool. I watched it in Sky. And I was just like, right, cool. Well, I'm glad I did not pay to watch. I would have been pissed. I would have been open pissed if should I have gone pay for that.
I'm not shocked.
Hashtag,
no, you know, I'm not shocked. But fair enough. Interesting. Interesting. So Ed, who are your other three Marvel characters that you favor the most? So you got Captain America and Deadpool, and who are the other three?
Yeah, Captain America, Deadpool. The thing is, there are so many characters. Like, I got to give us definitely Spider-Man. It sounds like some 100%. Obvious. You know, some people would like to go like, "Oh, I'm gonna pick the sort of underground characters because everyone's gonna pick these." But these characters are mainstream for a reason because they are very sick characters. So for me, Captain America, Spider-Man, Deadpool, and that was before the films because I know there's some people who only started sort of knowing about Deadpool since the
Which there's nothing wrong with.
Yeah, of course, there's nothing wrong with it. But this was my sort of choice before all of that. I just want to put that out there. Like,
yeah, that's cool.
I'm gonna keep it as top. I'm gonna keep it as my top three for now.
Okay.
All right.
Any honorable mentionable groups?
Say again.
Any
group? Remember, you got one group to choose. One group.
Yeah, actually. I don't know if I don't know if you lot will know much about this group, but actually, do you know what? I'll leave it. Don't worry.
Wait, why are you not mentioning the group?
Just mention it, bro. Just mention it, innit? Just mention it. You know what I'm saying? Just mention it, bro.
This is one of Ed's powers. He trolls to.
Yes. Yes. He's gonna do a purple man. Be careful.
No, wait. What's a purple man?
Ah, there it goes. Anyway, what is this group?
What is this group that you're trying to hide?
No, I'm not trying to hide it. But a few years ago, Spider-Man, he joined up with Fantastic Four.
Okay.
And they changed their name, and it was proper sick. Like I just loved that series. So yeah, man.
What were they called, man?
Do you know what? Honestly, I can't actually remember.
Well, we'll put that in the description on the.
Don't worry, I'm gonna Google it right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on. Go, okay, your turn, James.
What about
your characters.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's that? Yeah.
Your top 5 favorite Marvel characters and group.
Okay, so top 5 favorite Marvel characters. If I'll be honest, my number one would be Silver Surfer. I loved him from back in the day when they had the Marvel Hour on Fox Kids back in the day, and they had Silver Surfer. Like, he was actually a don. Like, the way man moves, bro, he's too sick. He's OP, and just remember, he only has a fraction of Galactus's power. So, like, how OP he is with only that kind of minuscule amount of power is ridiculous. Captain America, obviously.
On Silver Surfer, do you think the only film portrayal we got of him, do you think they done a good job?
No, they did a terrible job. It was a disrespect. I mean,
well, are we talking about the actual film or but the character itself, though?
Both. Like, both of them are disrespect to both Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer. Like, this is the thing with Fox. Like, they've only done a few good films. Like, they've done, what was it, X-Men and 1 and 2, they were decent. First Class was the best X-Men film they have ever released in their entire life and ever will do because Marvel have now bought them. And what was it? They had the Wolverine, not Wolverine, the Wolverine. That was a good film. Okay. There's just to distinguish between the two. And Old Man Logan. That those were the best Fox films. But everything else is cannon fodder and garbage and should just be cast aside.
Wow.
Because like they are actually trash. They are actually trash.
Oh, well, X-Men, X-Men 2.
X-Men 2. I did mention X-Men 2.
Oh, you said X-Men 2. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mentioned X-Men 2. So X-Men 1 and 2, and then everything else can just be ignored. Apart from First Class, and that's it.
Deadpool.
And then the Wolverine. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. My bad. Forgot about Deadpool. My boy Deadpool. Now those Deadpool 1 and 2 was sick. Deadpool 1 more than 2, but Deadpool 2 did have some good funny moments with his psychic taxi car driver. He always wanted to be in the team, but just kept on getting parred on a regular basis. Yeah, Spider-Man, absolute don.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Don't agree with some of the comic book choices in the past. Not recently, but it was like quite a few years ago. What was it? 5 years ago when
I know what you're gonna say. Superior Spider-Man.
Yes.
What's
yeah,
wrong?
the
I
Superior
don't know why
Spider-Man.
You hate Superior Spider-Man so much.
Are you actually
I
trolling?
don't understand. Like,
the
I
people
thought
that wrote that.
All right. Yeah.
You're a troll. This is why
People that read that
you are
what?
called Emperor Troll.
Oh,
This is why you're called Emperor Troll. Because why? First of all, why is Doctor Octavius into Peter's body? And you know what? I'll get that. I'll get that a blight. But it was the way it ended, yeah. Because first of all, they wiped off Amazing Spider-Man. So Amazing Spider-Man was gone. That legacy was gone. They brought it back because
they brought it back. They brought it back.
Yeah, because they knew they fucked up. So they brought it back. Yeah. And then they had Superior Spider-Man. And then the way it ended, Octavius was like, oh yeah, you're the better Spider-Man. I'm going to erase your memories of everything that's happened up to this point, and I'm going to send you your consciousness back into your body, and you like fade away. What's
wrong with that?
Who was on LSD when they made that storyline? Someone must have been on some wild drugs.
Not sit there though and think, do you know what? Imagine how many what ifs like I've had in my head. Imagine a villain decided, do you know what? I want to be a superhero. I bet you I can do it better. And they finally showed us what would happen, but in a better way as well. They went, right, let's go into Spider-Man's body. He's gone into Spider-Man's body. He's like, right, let me do a superhero how a superhero should be doing it. And to be fair, he was doing all right. He didn't do a bad job.
No, that's a direct troll. he did all right, but the way they structured the story throughout the end was terrible.
He was having up Mary Jane as well.
Huh?
He was having up Mary Jane as well.
That's a man snatched his guts.
Yeah, he was loving that.
Man snatched his life and the man snatched his wife, boy. That's savagery. But like I said, it was the way they ended it was the worst writing I have ever seen that Marvel done since like the recent thing with Captain America being a sleeper soldier agent for Hydra.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people didn't understand that, to be fair. And that's why they, like with the Lost, the TV series Lost and how it ended, right? And then because people didn't understand it, they say, oh, do you know what? It was rubbish. And I think it's the same thing with the Captain America thing. People started saying, so all this time he was a Hydra agent, so how come he didn't do this and this? And I can't believe it, but
I understand that he was a sleeper agent, so obviously they would only activate him when they would need him to be activated, and that's fine. I just don't agree with them ever implementing it in the first place.
Yeah, but it was a change of history. It wasn't like that, though. History was changed.
Yeah, I understand that. History was obviously changed, but they never should have done it. That was in my opinion, it was a poor decision.
It got people reading, so did it do a job?
It definitely got people reading because they were pissed, and I'll agree with that. They got numbers, but things like that do not last long. So you will put in something that will get you a short retention of readers, and then those readers will go away.
But after speaking of that whole situation, that was all happening during Civil War 2, which I think Rob's just read recently. He said,
"Yeah, Rob has." Rob,
yeah, yep,
yeah. Rob, you just recently read Civil War 2, haven't you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That was
Yep.
during the whole
I sure have.
Captain America and
Yeah,
Hydra
on Hydra thing.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
I read that all. Yeah, I read it all. Read it all. Yeah. That was pretty. It did answer some questions like how the fuck did this happen? And it's like, oh, okay. So it was pretty much spoilers for Civil War arc. It was like a time travel sort of thing happening there, if I can remember.
Yeah.
This mutant had what did she do again? This woman. She manipulated. Oh my gosh,
What?
She told Red Skull. Oh my gosh, I can't remember now, but she
Oh, what?
manipulated some.
The cube. Oh, what was it? The cosmic cube.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the
Yeah,
cube.
yeah, yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. And then somehow managed to manipulate the timeline. And then
Yeah.
when Captain America was being made, he was actually always a double agent. That's how they did it.
I think James was just saying that he absolutely hated that idea. What do you think?
No, you know what? After reading it, I mean, I'm a Captain America fan. Yeah, obviously, I'm like, oh man, yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
and
way, no way.
you're pro Hydra as well at the same
Yeah,
time. That's
exactly. Exactly. It is super conflict of
Obviously,
interest.
obviously had no issue with this because it benefits both his interests. It both benefits his Hydra love and his Captain America love at the same time.
And then at the same time, it's like Risco's are done.
You know, the worst thing is like if you've ever been out with Rob, I don't know how often you've been out with Rob. If you've ever been out with him and he's standing next to you, you'll just hear in your ear like all of a sudden he'll be like, "Hell Hydra," and I'm always just like, "What? Like, this guy is nuts."
Bro, just remember, this guy has Hydra. He has Hydra shirts. Man's got Captain America shirts that he rocks on a regular basis. And then if we're going to a Marvel film and Captain America is involved, he will carry an American flag which he will wave around at the end of the film, bro. Which has been shown from our Infinity War review, which I'll put a link in the description on YouTube.
Check that out.
He literally rocks out an American flag while reviewing Infinity War.
Because you gotta represent, and you gotta represent Captain America as well, because that 3-hit Tekken combo he gave Thanos, and he was feeling it. He tried to firm it.
Yeah.
He tried to firm it, but he was feeling it. Thanos like,
some of the agents are denying that happened. Both over glad we can discuss this because some of the agents are denying that happened. He did a 3-hit combo.
How can they deny that?
Yeah.
No one is denying that.
When he uppercutted him in his chin, and Thanos went, ugh, and like his chin went up and into the air.
You're overselling that punch.
Oh,
you're overselling that.
No. You see, James, no.
Let me just make this clear.
No
one is denying.
No. Jog on, man. Jog on.
Overselling. You are overselling that
on your bike. You're chatting air.
Super overselling. Wow.
Jeez, the hatred for Captain America.
I know. Why does
Because he was the only one other than Thor to get firm bangs, no homo, on Thanos.
Everyone else either got merged with the wall or just thrown to the side. And he came in, dodged one
those firm bangs.
Exactly. Counter attack, bang, uppercut.
Do you know what he did? Combo, bam, bam, bam.
The strategy behind it as well. He punched his knee to make him give way, then banged his arm on a momentum sort of, because he's using his strength against him, and then uppercutted him. I thought, wow, this guy really thought about that 3-hit combo. There's so much in that 3-hit combo. That 1 second.
So elegant. It just made it such a beautiful scene, beautiful, like, 20-second clip, bro. Like, that's the type of shit Batman would do. I guarantee if Batman was fighting Darkseid, he would have done that, bro. He would have done that. That's the type of shit Batman would have done.
Why?
But you know what's funny though, Ed? I guarantee if it had been Batman doing that to Thanos or Darkseid, everyone would be like, "Oh my god, Batman's done!"
For free. If Batman could ever do that to Darkseid, I'd walk out the cinema.
No. Okay, here's the difference.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me tell you the difference. When Captain America done it, and then he grabbed the gauntlet, and Thanos looked at him and went, you could see his face. He was like, "Oh, well done, mate." Bang! Punched him in his head.
Oh
right?
yes, I forgot he was bench pressing the gauntlet, bruv. That's what.
Yeah.
I
But
will
if
respect
Batman
that
done
because
it,
he actually
right?
was doing that. It was like
If they
he
made
was
Batman
looking at
do
it.
that, if they made Batman do that, right? Batman would have came out victorious of that sort of one-on-one.
Batman would have got the Nobel Peace Prize somehow. He'd be the first comic book character to get a Nobel Peace Prize. That's what
Batman could never do that to Darkseid. Are you dumb?
Is
man dumb?
But I bet you I could find a comic book strip where he does.
Look,
no. You're forgetting though. You're forgetting
Batman has bagged up Darkseid, but I will also tell you that it was because he was wearing a suit which was literally draining. No, he was literally wearing a suit which was draining his life force when he was fighting Darkseid. So it empowered him. It was not Batman on his own. It was Batman in a powered suit which was draining his life force. That was the only time I've ever seen Batman fight Darkseid.
How does Batman always come up in these? We're talking about Marvel here. Like, this is a Marvel podcast. Why do you always talk about Batman? Like,
bro, talk to your boy Rob, innit?
What I will say as well, I just have to say, I've seen with my own eyes, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman fight an army of Doomsdays, Now, you lot can argue and say, oh, these are weakened versions of Doomsdays, but check this. One of those Doomsdays punched Superman down to the floor, kicked Wonder Woman down to the other side of the flipping space.
I know what you're talking about.
He kicked flipping Batman, and it hit him, and he backflipped and landed on his feet. And I thought, right, I'm done, because how can Superman and Wonder Woman get knocked out?
No one is denying Batgod's abilities, because people call Batman Batgod for a reason. He has accomplished many feats. He has been able to dodge an Omega beam. Yeah, he has literally evaded an Omega beam. Well, in the comics, he is one of the only few superheroes who was able to escape being sucked into a dimension where Flash, Superman, Wonder Woman were literally there. He was there too, and he was able to avoid being sucked into that pocket dimension. This was during Trinity War saga. You can look that up.
We'll do a Batman podcast because I'm fed up of Batman having.
That's in the plan. That's in the plan. That's in the plan. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's on the list. It is on the list. Trust me. Don't worry.
There will be
on the list. It's on the list, man.
Batman will have his day.
It's on the list. Don't worry, my buddy. It's on the list, man.
Yeah,
right.
Let's get back to this Marvel.
Let's get back on.
Thanos with the gauntlet.
Exactly. But people are gonna hate. People will hate, man. Don't worry. Right. So the next question is what? So here we go. Now it's gonna get tasty. No homo. So what are your opinions on the state of the Marvel comics?
Of Marvel Comics.
Yeah, the comics. What are your opinions on the state of it?
So,
from what you can distinguish at this moment,
because as we know, like if we're gonna compare to the DC Universe comics, DC Comics.
Hold on, let him talk, man. Let him talk.
Okay, yeah, cool. Go on.
All right, look, listen. Obviously, I used to be a massive comic book reader. Not so much now, but I tend to try and keep up to date with everything that I can. I think. Obviously after reading Civil War 2, Secret Wars and everything, I know after Secret Wars, Marvel rebooted their whole comic book universe, and we got the all-new Marvel. Let's not do this again thing, because you're God's DC.
Okay, just
what was that? What was that? Sorry.
Just tell me, how many times has it been rebooted recently?
All right.
No, I don't want to answer that.
The same amount of times as DC have done it. So
no,
how about that?
Wrong.
What?
Wrong. DC has rebooted DC. So since New 52, Marvel has rebooted it at least 2 to 3 times since New 52.
No,
and
New
52 has been the same universe throughout the entire time that Marvel have rebooted it. So
you think Marvel have rebooted their universe 2 to 3 times?
There's a minimum of 2 times. There is a minimum of 2 times. So Marvel rebooted the universe. No, Marvel rebooted it when DC rebooted their universe. They both started a clean slate, yeah. And then DC has continued the New 52 universe, and then Marvel has rebooted it again. and at least another time. And it may be a soft reboot, but they have at least rebooted it. So that has been at least 2 times they have rebooted it throughout the entire time.
Okay, you're confusing. There's a difference between a reboot of like a publication and a reboot to the universe. They're 2 different things. Like it's still the same story. It's still the same universe that's ongoing. They've just rebooted their sort of titles, publishers, but it's one universe. They haven't rebooted the characters to where they don't know each other anymore and it's brand new. Like that's a whole different matter.
No, they obviously, no one would do that because that no, DC didn't do that either. They all know each other.
Okay, as I was saying, yeah, after Secret Wars, Marvel rebooted their universe, and in terms of the comic books, what Marvel tried to do was create a wide variety and diverse cast. And that received mixed reviews. I think the plan was to sort of branch out and get more comic readers in. But what they didn't realize that they were sort of it near enough had the opposite effect. And I think, yeah, Marvel Comics have been losing the war against Marvel and DC when it comes to comic books.
I think one of the main pain points for a lot of people was the fact that they killed off Bruce Banner and they had John Choi as the new Hulk. That was a massive pain point for a lot of people.
Amadeus Cho.
Yeah, Amadeus Cho as the new Hulk.
He was in Civil War, I think. The Civil War 1, was he? 2? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because he's the Hulk. During Civil War 2, he's the Hulk, yeah. And that's why, remember in Civil War 2, when they predicted that Hulk was going to rage out. And so but Bruce Banner couldn't turn into the Hulk at that time.
Yeah, and they killed him anyway. That was what's his name? Hawkeye killed him. That was deep. Oh man,
sort of that was wild. Like I think Civil War 2 is a really interesting. As much as it wasn't received that well, it's a really interesting story because
no, it was a cash grab. It really was a cash grab.
No, it was an interesting thing because they literally did the
it's a debate of morality where again, just like Civil War 1, you could see both sides. Like both sides, it wasn't just a clear cut good versus bad.
But you know what reminded me of though? No, go on. Finish it off.
Well, I was gonna say because Civil War 1, you had Iron Man on the side of like the law, where he's like, I think this is how we got to do it. We got to register and do all this. And then you had Captain America on the side of like freedom. Whereas Civil War 2, you had Captain Marvel saying, no, by the law, we need to arrest these people if we believe that they're going to do this. And you had Iron Man contrasted as he was in the first one, fighting the side of freedom, saying, hang on a second, this isn't right. And that's why it was interesting because you had Captain America on his side as well. But then again, obviously he was an agent or whatever. But yeah, you had like Iron Man fighting for freedom, contrasting the last one. I thought it was just really interesting. It was a good sort of debate of morality. Because how could you arrest someone for something they haven't done anything?
Well, that was the same. See, when I was reading this story, right? Again, it reminded me of what's it called? Because DC did that a few years ago. Oh, what was it again? It was when Batman, funny enough, again, was in Metron's chair, and he was just arresting people, and then it literally got to the point where Jim Gordon was like, "No, you need to stop."
Oh, that was that was Batgod, wasn't it? When he could
Batgod, yeah.
That's when he actually had the proper title of Batgod because this was in the Dark Side War where literally everyone, like the main Justice League people, became gods. So you had Superman, who was already OP as is. He became the god of Apocalypse, and you had Green Lantern becoming some ridiculously OP god. Batman sat on the chair, the Mobius chair. So he literally had the knowledge of the entire universe in his fingertips. And he literally was just going around Gotham just like...
He tried to find out about the Joker.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And then he found out who he really was, but they never revealed it.
No,
they did. They said that he was free. There was three Jokers in existence. Jokers.
Yeah, but that's 3. But they didn't actually reveal who it was. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, oh, fuck's sake. Come on,
I'm still waiting for that reveal. I'm still waiting.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That,
That's
that
weird.
was the reveal. That's what he doesn't know who he actually is. He just like thinks he just knows that there's 3 different types of Jokers.
Yeah,
that
but
was
we
the
don't
reveal.
know. Yeah, but we
But
don't
what
know
is
who
that?
they
Like,
were.
so-
Yeah, thank
That
you.
is,
That's what I'm saying.
it is a terrible
So the
cop out.
Jokers that we've seen,
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It hasn't
Jokers
been
that we've
revealed.
seen, have they been 3 different people? Do they know each other? Like,
Thank you.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, they
Thank
literally left
you.
that to the side. I think that's a very poor form on DC's part.
But
I
yeah,
feel that
back to
probably
Marvel.
got
Back
to
to
that.
Marvel.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
worry about
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Back to Marvel. So, but yeah, so then it get
Little
back to
mention of
be.
any bad thing of DC's jumping out of it quick.
Bro, this is like Power Rangers all over again, bro.
Yeah. Oh, Nigel's not here to. Why do not do that? Fucking hell.
No, this is you, bro. You literally
well,
like when Red
Anyway,
Ranger
back
was
to
getting
Marvel.
backed up.
Back to Marvel.
Yeah,
Back
cool.
to Marvel. Gosh.
Yeah, back to Marvel. With it. Back to
Yeah,
Marvel.
back to Marvel. Gosh, you're always going off topic, man.
Classic,
yeah.
bro.
Anyway, insert Velman GIF.
Yeah, that's where I am with Marvel Comics. I believe that they're not selling as well as DC is. I think Batman's doing, the most for DC at the moment. But in terms of comics, but yeah, Marvel. I'm gonna say I'm sort of on the fence with the whole diversity thing. I understand what they were doing, but like people have said in the past, they can create new heroes. They don't have to replace literally everyone. Like, I mean, off the top of my head, they had an Asian Hulk, female Thor, a black female Iron Man, a female Wolverine. Obviously, Miles Morales was already there, but they added him as the main sort of Spider-Man on the roster.
Yeah.
Who else was there? I can't think.
Captain Marvel, because I was reading up the Captain Marvel situation.
Was it Pakistani Muslim or Miss Marvel? Was it? Or
no, that's Miss Marvel. That's Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
That's fine because it's kind of like another generation of Miss Marvel, so to speak. So they're
and
not
a
really
female Thor.
But the thing about Captain Marvel is that that used to actually be a black woman, which so it was Marvel originally. Then it got sent to the black woman took over her name. You know the person that's in the Captain Marvel film?
Yeah,
She's the pilot. No, not the kid, the pilot woman. The mum of the kid.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so Rambo.
Because she becomes Captain Marvel as well.
Yeah, she becomes Captain Marvel in the comics, and then they took that name away from her, like later on, and then she just like started having. She had like kind of like an identity crisis. They kept on changing her name constantly. It's like these different names, and she never came back to being Captain Marvel again. So it was just like, why not give her the title Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
They gave.
And of course, how can I forget Captain America, Black Captain America as well.
Yeah,
they done all of this at the same time, and I was just kind of like, it felt forced to me. I understand they want to do a diversity, but yeah, it was just really.
I slightly understand the Captain America situation because obviously he started to age from the Super Soldier series.
You can say you understand the situation because they introduced the story of him aging. That's the point.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's not like it's just a coincidence. That's why. So everyone has a story. Everyone has a reason why. So you could say, I understand why Thor is because he dropped his hammer. I understand.
Is he still old in the comics? Captain America. Is Captain America still old in the comics?
No. He's back.
Not anymore. He's back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Next question. So, what are your opinions, Grand Wizard Ed, of the MCU?
I don't like the association of Grand Wizard. Like, if you're gonna call me a Marvel fanboy, which I'm not.
So why do you
call me the Grand Wizard? Like,
because y'all always go after me when I have a different opinion about a Marvel film. It's like, how could you?
Okay, it's just a really unpopular opinion.
And I'm getting
Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a really unpopular opinion.
But it's not though. There are other people that do not like that movie.
What, Guardians of the Galaxy? There's not many people who don't like Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm saying there are people that do not like that film.
I just think your reasoning, if your reasoning for not liking it,
and you wanna lynch me. You all wanna take it back to the '60s and put me on a hook and lynch me for saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's mad. I remember that day. Do you remember that time, James, when I said, "Oh yeah, what's it called? Guardians of Garbage. I called it Guardians of Garbage. And did I get?
Bro,
Remember, I got thrown out of the room. Remember, I got thrown out of the room for a while.
You said BVS is better.
No, I said BVS. No, I said. Yeah, but that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I enjoyed BVS than Guardians.
Oh, that was before the extended edition dropped as well, Rob. That's the worst part about it.
But that's how bad Guardians was.
Oh my God, that's a troll.
That's how bad Guardians was.
Guardians was a really good film.
No, it was.
The second one was not as good as the second.
Oh, dude, I fell asleep. Brother, since we're on MCU, now we can talk about this. I fell asleep for that film. That film was.
Yeah, maybe that's why you didn't like it, because you didn't watch it. You was asleep.
The film, dude, and I watched it. No, and I watched it again, on YouTube. That's how bad it was. I watched it again on YouTube where it ripped off, and I was like, this film is shit. This film is absolutely.
You're lying, bro. There's no.
I'm not lying.
How can you watch it?
It was on YouTube because you know what they do. Some people upload these movies quick, and then they mess the background up so it can pass some form of authentication. So it's like a small square, but then the background is some whatever background color. But then you can you can legitimately watch it.
State of the MCU, like, is that what you asked me? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, look. The MCU, I think, is literally this generation's biggest project in film, like, ever. Like, this is literally our version of, say, Star Wars back then, or, you know, any sort of project here. Like, this is the biggest thing to be on cinema in decades. And I think, like, they've done so well because of the template of introducing the characters and then letting them team up, introducing the characters again and letting them.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely.
Obviously,
even though they had some bad films.
No, yeah, they did. I don't know about bad.
Don't crucify me. Don't crucify me. Don't crucify me.
I'm not gonna crucify. I'm not gonna crucify or lynch you, whatever you said.
Yeah. Don't send a mob with fire sticks outside my gaff, man. Come on.
Some of the films were not as good as others, right?
Right.
And I just think they're in the exact place that they want to be right now, especially considering, as mentioned earlier, they've now acquired the Fox characters as well.
Yes, I cannot wait to see this shit done right.
Own everything except for, because a lot of people still don't know this, they own everything now except for Spider-Man and Hulk.
Yeah.
But the Hulk one's funny. I
don't think no one cares about Hulk. The Hulk shit.
Like, you need to allow it. You need to allow
Hulk
this.
Is crap. Hulk is crap.
You will put respect on Hulk's name.
No,
you will not disrespect. You will not disrespect.
No.
Like, obviously, no, sorry, tell a lie. They do own the character rights for Hulk, but they don't own the distribution rights.
I don't think no one cares. I don't think no one cares.
Yeah,
they can't do solo films, but
no one cares.
With other people,
it's a bit of a bad situation because
maybe Asian Aaron will, but
I think Universal own the rights to the distribution of Hulk. So Universal said straight, you can make a film all you like, but we will produce it or distribute it. And Disney are just saying, why would we ever get another company to do it? So we'll rather just do no film. And yeah, obviously you got Spider-Man as well, who Marvel have only rented. It's going straight back to Sony in a few years. So fingers crossed that Marvel get those two characters back. But...
So tell me something. What's good, Ed? I mean, with all the money that the MCU's made and Disney's, especially with the backing of Disney, why don't they just go to Sony? Look, we've got more money than you. Clearly,
why would they
take
do
this
that,
check? Take this check, and give us back Spider-Man.
Well, actually, do you know what? They've actually done that. They've tried, as much as they want to say, no, we're not interested or whatever. They've tried to get Spider-Man back, but believe it or not, Spider-Man is Sony's. I think I don't know if it is now, but it used to be their biggest cash cow, despite the reviews for the films. It still is. That's what I mean. So Sony will never let that go, because once they let Spider-Man go, they haven't got any more, apart from obviously like their other ventures.
What you need to understand is that Sony have the rights to merchandise for Spider-Man.
But yeah,
So
let me explain how valuable Spider-Man is to them, right? It's this Spider-Man is so valuable, but by taking the rights for this one character and his associated characters, they're trying to create their own universe based on Spider-Man characters. Like, so there's going to now be a whole separate Marvel universe which only consists of characters within Spider-Man's comics. So to me, that's how much they value Spider-Man's as a character. So then,
but then don't you think it's kind of confusing to people, to to the popcorn family, and the average Joe, the average Flo, like, wait, what's going on here? We got Spider-Man here, and then we got Spider-Man there. Right?
Well, yeah,
what's going on?
It's confusing. I mean, what I will say to the average popcorn viewer, so obviously the first Sony film was Venom, right? So Venom's come out, and a lot of people were asking, is this linked to the MCU? The problem we had there was they were giving conflicting answers. Amy Pascal, I think her name is, the head of Sony, she was saying, yes, this is linked. And then Kevin was like, nah, what are you talking about? No, it's not linked.
Oh, so they were kind of that famous video that you saw Kevin, whatever his name, Fudge,
he was
looking at her like, what are you on about?
Kevin Feige, he looks at her and he's like, huh? What?
Yeah.
yeah. So, but then, yeah, it is confusing. But then what we've now come to find is after a couple of years, Spider-Man is going to go back to the Sony films. So Spider-Man can actually appear in the Venom series in a few years' time. What we don't know is whether they're going to use Tom Holland or the same character. And if they do, that's going to be confusing. Because
it's going to be a bit mad.
Because then we're not going to know, is it linked? Unless they do something where they send him to another universe. Like Doctor Strange goes, right, get out this universe, go somewhere else.
So what about then, in that case, so another question, here's the next question. The Netflix guys, because now that Netflix, I mean, Disney are doing their own thing, and they're doing what DC are doing with the whole streaming thing and whatnot. So they're going to be creating their own content and blah, blah, blah. Do you think this is going to be a good thing? Do you, DC, do you think they're going to, it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing? Because with the reputation with Netflix, I mean, you could it's like you can do pretty much what you want, right? But with Disney, is it going to be very hippie-ish and labor right-ish, Democrat Party-ish, where it's going to be like, oh, jokey, bright colors.
He's still going. Look, he's still going.
No, this is important, man, because I'm a big Punisher fan. I've been a Punisher fan since when he stepped into the Spider-Man cartoons back in the 90s, man. When I see this guy murking a mutated spider, I'm like, wait, who's this guy? He's a Don. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got a van and all that shit, that responds to what he says. So I'm thinking, nah, and I'm a big Punisher fan. Regardless of what people say, I loved all of his movies. Thomas Jane, the other guy.
You used to talk about those films back in when we used to work together.
Exactly. I was rating Punisher before anyone else started going, Punisher's sick on Netflix. So I want to know, are they going to make this guy basically camp? Are they going to make it? Are they going to wreck him?
I don't think that's even possible.
Are they going to wreck him? Because I will switch. I will be infuriated if they do this. Honestly,
like Marvel petrol bomb, like Marvel's building the next day.
Boris, real talk.
Okay, so all right. Here's what I think. Right. So obviously, as we know, Netflix are the ones who cancelled the shows. Right. Not Marvel or Disney. Right. As far as Marvel were aware, they were doing season 4 of Daredevil, etc. They even had it written. But then Netflix cancelled it. Is that due to Disney Plus, which is Disney's streaming service? I don't know. I mean, they haven't really said why. But even if it was due to Disney Plus, Disney can't legally put the shows on there until I think there's another 4 years on the contract, or 3 or 4 years. Okay. So we have to wait until about 2023, I think the year is, until Disney actually carry on the show.
Netflix ruined it for Disney, so they can't put on their content.
Yeah, but they have to wait anyway.
New content then, Could they put
a new? Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So on Disney Plus, I don't know if you know, but we're getting like I think it's a Loki series. We're getting a. What do you mean? One of the greatest villains in the MCU. Anyway, we won't.
Wait.
Let's leave that debate alone. We'll talk about that another time. Because we'll start doing some hour and a half session, bro.
Wait.
Oh, here we go.
No. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Boy, jeez, Loki, though. Gosh. No, go on. Continue, mate. Don't wait for me.
Jesus Christ. So we got
Wait,
Loki.
where's Ed? Wait, where's Ed gone? Is Ed gone? Oh shit, Ed's gone.
He's on pause.
He's on pause.
Yeah, I think he might have got disconnected. He'll probably get connected back again.
Oh, of course, yeah. Sorry, people. We having a bit of interference here at the moment. Hey, what's going on, man? Come on, Ed. Come on. We need our resident Marvel expert, Grand Wizard.
Grand Wizard.
Bro, you saw what it did to me, man. What was it called when I said Guardians of the Galaxy was whack, and I got crucified. Literally got crucified by them.
You went on sick with Guardians. You went on sick. I want you to name me why Guardians is terrible.
I told you. Okay, you know, fine. While we're waiting for Ed, we'll do this one. Right. I did not like Baptista. Like, he cannot act. He's a poor actor.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, there he is.
My mum called.
Oh.
The grandma.
Wait, who can't act?
What's that?
He's saying Batista couldn't act.
Oh my god! Why are we back? Okay. So not only are we back on Guardians, you want to talk about the MVP of Guardians. You want to talk about how he.
I agree with that.
Are you serious? MVP of.
He is the MVP of Guardians. In both 1 and 2, he was a don.
He's too funny.
He's actually too sick. I actually resonate. He is my spirit animal.
You do resonate with him because you're just like him. Everything goes over your head just like him.
I'm 100% like Drax, bro, in real life. Like he and Drax are one and the same, bro. So like the fact that you're Pyro Man off.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you see the shyness, excuse my French, that I have to put up with these guys? Ah, my God.
But look, anyway, back on topic, the sort of the streaming shows, the Netflix. I'm really upset they got cancelled. I do hope they carry them on, but again, we're gonna have to wait a few years if they do.
So I have to wait till 2023 for Punisher to come out next.
No, they can release new seasons. You just can't watch the older ones on Disney.
No. So, they still can't release new seasons.
Oh really? They can't.
That's what I just said. You just did a CJ. Flipping out.
They can't release new seasons unless Netflix sort of let them, but by contract they can't release new seasons.
Oh, fuck's sake!
Boy. But you know what? The way that the recent Punisher season ended, it wasn't even that bad. You could take it or leave it. You know, it wouldn't technically need another season. Like it ended all right.
Yeah, it might not need another season. It wasn't a cliffhanger or anything, but obviously we could always do with one. Punisher.
No, what we'll do, don't worry, it's on the list of the Marvel podcast episodes. We're going to talk exclusively about the Netflix TV shows and whatnot. Yeah, so don't worry. So the next question is, Ed, for you once again, the resident Marvel expert.
Oh my God.
You are. What? I didn't call you Grand Wizard. I said you're Marvel expert. Are you not? Okay. So what are your opinions and the future expectations for the MCU now that Fox has been bought for the other rights?
I've got a lot to say about that, man. This is
Let's go. Let's do this. James, no interfering.
This is big news. Yeah,
so I've got two things to say about this. I mean, first of all, we've had the MCU started in 2008 with Iron Man, right? How many films are we? 19 films in or something like that?
No idea, but I know you know.
So they split the series into phases, right? Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. We're currently in Phase 3, which is going to end on Endgame, the next film. That's going to end.
Right.
But that's also the end of the entire, I'm not going to say chapter, of the entire book. So that will be book 1 of the MCU done. Yeah,
Right.
11 years worth of story.
Because just a quick one, I did see online. I don't know if you're posted it in the cinema TV room, which I am not a part of until Shazam comes out. You guys have posted. What's called Kevin Fudge, whatever his name is. He's called this entire saga, as you called it, the Infinity Saga.
Yeah, the Infinity.
That is
Saga.
sick.
I'm glad. So they very recently done that. Yeah, they gave it a name, which is good. So I can get my box set. Buy the Infinity Saga box set. I can't wait for that.
In 4K.
But yeah, so the Infinity Saga. So exactly. So I'm glad you said that. It's got a name, and after Endgame, the Infinity Saga is done. That doesn't mean it's the end of the MCU. Obviously, we already know that Spider-Man 2's coming out later on this year. But we don't know what the state of the universe is going to be like. We have no idea. So, especially considering now that they've acquired the Fox characters, that opens up the whole realm of possibilities. Because I've been thinking how this whole time for 11 years they've built up Thanos, right? So I'm thinking, who's the next big bad they can do?
It's got to be Galactus. It has to be Galactus.
Then I was thinking, are they going to do another big bad that takes 10 years to resolve?
I don't think it could be Galactus, because Galactus is technically not a villain. He's just a being that exists to eat planets, because that is his purpose.
That is a villain.
He has a purpose. That is his purpose in life. That's not.
No, but that's a villain. That's what I swear. That's what Thanos sees himself as, a purpose of a man to rectify, to rebalance the universe.
Evil.
Because it's
if you kill Galactus, that's the end of the universe, bro. So you can't kill Galactus.
They won't kill him. They're gonna probably imprison him somewhere or send him back.
Bro, if you imprison him without being able to eat planets, he will be dead, and then that's the end of the universe. That's just how he is.
No, but then there's always a way to find another source of power they can find him,
there's a lot they could
put him in a loop. There's a lot they could do with him.
But I don't think that he would. I don't think he would be considered as a villain. I would say Doom is more of a villain. A better villain.
You're saying they're not. You don't want them to do Galactus as the big bad.
He's saying that he doesn't class Galactus as a villain.
I don't class him as a proper villain, but not like a super villain, because he's a necessary evil.
So what's the difference between him and Thanos?
Bad,
whoa,
Thanos
wait.
Wants to, wait, you do know there isn't.
Go on.
That Thanos is actually a villain. Like he wants to wipe out half of the universe because he feels it's necessary, bro. He feels it's necessary, where Galactus just goes and munches up a planet because he needs something to survive.
No. I disagree. You can't use the argument of he's not doing it to be a villain, because a lot of villains, a lot of times they think they're in the right. Everyone's the good guy in their own story.
Thank you.
Especially Thanos. Thanos.
Yeah.
Thanos is just like someone who is deranged and just wants to make to have his love death to like be with him for the rest of his life, bro. Like that's who Thanos is. Maybe not an MCU.
Now this is where we sort of, it depends if we're talking about comic books here or the MCU.
Yeah.
Right. But this is what I'm saying. So, but I'm comparing, like, I'm saying that Galactus as a whole is a villain. Like, he's Fantastic Four's big main villain.
He's one of them, but if Doom is, I would say.
No,
Doom,
I said big main. Like, there's no one else bigger than Galactus in Fantastic Four, bro.
You're saying that Doctor Doom is not their big main.
Can Doctor Doom beat up Galactus? Can he bang Galactus? I don't think he can.
Depends on the situation.
As much as a Don as Doctor Doom is, I don't think he could bang him. I don't think so. Doctor Doom would be a sick sub-villain. He would make a really good sub-villain.
Did you say?
But Galactus is he would be the big one. He'd be the big main one.
Are you hearing this right now?
Let me interject here.
That's that, bro.
Okay.
I've got to walk away from that. I'm opted out, bro. That's what
they incorporate the Fox
Then you go on there,
characters.
fine. Jog on your bike.
No, listen. Obviously, DC Rob, I know that you don't know.
Anyway.
Doctor Doom is a top tier villain. Yeah, a top tier villain. You might only know him from the Fantastic Four films or whatever, but
No. I remember him from the comics. and the cartoon as well. Like he's a don. Don't get it twisted. He's a don. But are you telling me? Are you going to sit there or stand there, whatever you're doing now? Are you going to tell me that Doctor Doom can bang Galactus?
100% he could.
No, you know what? I'm gone. I'm out of here. I'm hanging up. I can't.
You can't hang up the phone.
I can't. Wait, let's confirm. Let me hear this one last time. Can Doctor Doom bang Galactus?
In certain situations, yes.
Okay, guys, it's been great. This has been a great podcast, but I need to leave because I'm going to lose my mind.
It's not even a troll. It's not even a troll, though. That's just can't.
There's different iterations, yeah. During Secret Wars, right? Secret Wars, about 3-4 years ago, Doctor Doom was a god. When I say he was a god, I'm talking an actual god. Like he could will things into existence. Like he's not a joke.
Right.
And he would have murked Galactus right at that time. So, but if you're talking about just Doctor Doom, he may have. Look, put it this way. He's a top tier. That's all I'm saying. He's a top tier villain. Top tier.
No, I never disputed that. But you're trying to tell me that this guy. No, I said compared to Galactus, yes, he is, bro. There's no question.
You know that he actually held back the powers of the Infinity Gauntlet at one time.
Fine. Yeah, but who hasn't?
Captain
America has, and Black Panther have.
You know, speaking and Doctor Doom. Now I remember. Sorry, remember the Fantastic Four? They were called the Future Foundation, the one that Spider-Man joined, right? And Doctor Doom,
that's it.
He even joined that group. He joined the Future Foundation. They even recommended him because the whole point of the Future Foundation was to ensure the future and make sure that everything, like serve humanity's future and blah 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 blah. And they even said, right, I think Doctor Doom is actually could be a member here, and they put him in that group. That's how sick Doctor Doom is as well.
That's sick.
Did you know? Speaking of Doctor Doom, again, another thing. I can't remember the circumstances, but they managed to look at every single scenario of the future to see where there are any scenarios where we could achieve world peace and stuff like that. The only one scenario that worked where the heroes achieved world peace and there was no war was the one where Doctor Doom rules the Earth. That's a mad thing to think about as well.
That's sick. That is sick.
Although he's a villain, he's not one-dimensional. He's kind of like Thanos as well, where there's more to him than just I want to destroy.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I like him. I really like him. I really hope they do make him like some form of a big man antagonist in the next phase. I'm assuming Marvel
I hope they
phase
do a
4
better job
and
than
5.
Fox did anyway.
Oh, come on now. Let's be real. You can't do any worse, man. You really can't. You can't. No way.
James, didn't you like the latest one?
No, I said it was a decent film. It had decent parts of the film, but it was not great. Do not even try to put that to me, bro. Don't even try to put that to me, bro. I said they had sick use of Fantastic Four abilities, which they did, and I will not deny that. But the film itself was terrible. No. I'll tell you what. You get that proof. You get that proof, and I'll add it to the corrections in the description, bro. Where I said the whole film was sick. Because I guarantee you, I said that they had sick parts in this film where they showcased Fantastic Four abilities, but I never said the film itself was sick. So you get that evidence in, and I'll add it to the video, bro. Guarantee it.
All right. Cool.
You will never see that. You will never see that in any of our conversations.
But yeah, man. After Endgame, I just think there's a lot they can do. There's so much potential now that they own X-Men and Fantastic Four, especially Fantastic Four, because they got Doom.
I wish this Dark Phoenix film never existed.
Say again?
I wish this Dark Phoenix film never existed. I wish they just ended it with the previous crappy film.
No.
Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix. What, Rob?
Yeah,
You ain't watching Dark Phoenix?
What's that?
Do you say do you disagree with James about?
No, I agree with him. They have said that. Nope, don't. Just don't even talk about that film. Just oh gosh. I
can
cannot
tell you right now,
wait for Marvel to redo that. Oh my gosh.
The only highlight of that film is going to be Quicksilver.
I don't know how Marvel were going to introduce mutants. That's one thing that's kind of baffling me, because I think when they sort of didn't ever have the inkling that they're going to own the rights, they started building up the Inhumans, and that was kind of the replacement for the mutants. That was like, they were like, oh, let's just use the Inhumans. But now that they got mutants, I don't really know how they're going to do that.
I think they're going to have to do a soft boot for the MCU.
But who knows? Civil War 2 could be leading up to this, though. Yeah, I mean, Marvel could be going up to Civil War 2.
What? How?
Ooh, it just occurred to me, because now they've got the X-Men. Some of the tie-ins were some of the Civil War 2 tie-ins was with what, X-23 and
the
Wolverine and who else was it? Oh god, I think it was Jean Grey as well. Yeah, Phoenix.
They actually played a big part in it, so I think
that's what I'm saying.
Now you got Captain Marvel introduced,
and they could do a proper Civil War now.
They technically could. Alright, could you imagine Civil War with the X-Men as well?
Oh, you know what they could do though, because you remember they had the
murking everyone with like one move. That'd be sick.
Do you remember the arc where they kind of had like their Crisis on Infinite Earths? Marvel had their own Crisis on Infinite Earths, where they were destroying the different universes. That's one way. They could
Secret Wars. I was talking about it earlier. Secret Wars.
Yeah. So they could literally just merge the universes together, and they can just become one. That's one way of introducing mutants into it. So they could just say from the Ultimate Universe.
But would that translate well on the big screen though? That's the sort of thing.
That's probably what they're doing. They're probably going to wait for the DC to do their one on the TV show, see how that goes, and then they're going to do Then they'll do theirs, or they're either going to wait for the Flashpoint movie to drop and see how that goes, and then they're going to.
I don't really know how it would go well on TV, man. I just can't see them doing like a Secret Wars where it's like they merge all these different universes. I think it would get too Matrixy, and a lot of people they would lose a lot of people doing that. I think the beauty of the MCU is that anyone can watch it. You don't necessarily have to go in and go, right, I need to put my top thinking cap on with this one. They're really easy watches.
Okay. Well, and the last question is, why do you dislike DC so much?
Wait, that's okay. That's obviously not a real question.
It is. It's right here.
You wanna know why I dislike DC so much?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll answer the question. First of all, I do not dislike DC. I don't know why you said that. I don't know where that's come from. I have no idea. First of all, this is about Marvel. Why do you hate Marvel so much?
I don't hate Marvel so much. Who says I hate Marvel so much?
You!
No, I do not. No. You guys, look, that is fake news, right? That is pure fake news, right? That is you guys twisting what I have said to make it assume that I hate Marvel. But I've just said I do not like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Those films are shit, right? I do not like Thor. I think Thor 1 and 2. I think and 3. I thought Thor was just he's a great character, but his films are shit.
Did man just say 4-3 was shit?
His films are shit. His films are crap. Excuse my French. Then opt out then. Alright, then go on and jog on.
Okay.
I do not like Iron Man 2 and 3. 1 was okay, but 2 and 3. But I don't like Iron Man as a character anyway.
You've just gone through half of the films already.
I think he's crap. Right, I just think he's
why I said this, because you've been hating Iron Man for time.
Thank you. I've always hated Iron Man. I don't even like War Machine. I think War Machine shit as well, bruv. I remember in the cartoons he got banged by by Venom, bruv. He tri-step and Venom just murked him nicely. But hey, talk about War Machine. Wait there, I digress. So in Civil War 2, people, if you read Civil War 2, the blow of the 21st century in Marvel Comics was received from Thanos. He punched War Machine so hard that he not only did his armor implode, but his flesh imploded as well. And he came out.
When I saw it, he gave him a Falcon punch.
Bro, it was a One Punch Man.
100%. He gave him a Falcon punch.
That is what.
People, he was laying dead on the what you call it, on the stretcher. He was just gone. He was just covered. You just see the blood in his.
I felt bad because
I was laughing, bro.
The thing is, James, I don't know if you read Civil War 2, but like,
it's been a long time since I read it.
At the time, War Machine, he weren't even like teaming up with Captain Marvel too tough, but she called him and said, "Right, I know where Thanos is going to be. Let's go get him." He volunteered. Yeah, he didn't have to go, but like, that's why Tony Stark was with. So they went up and did their thing.
That's what he gets. That's what he gets.
Stark came down and he said, "Hang on, he's not even on your team. Why did you call him?" And you have to understand from his perspective, he's walked in and seen his best friend dead.
Yeah, I actually feel sorry for Tony. Like, he's seen his best friend laying. It's like you walking in, you're seeing Matt dead on the thing. Like, wait, what's happened here?
Imagine he's already arguing with Captain Marvel. Yeah? He's already arguing with her, and then she goes off and takes his best friend, and then he comes back dead. So he's like, I can't believe you've brought my. Oh yeah, it was mad. I felt sorry for him.
I actually felt sorry for Tony, and I felt sorry for Thanos. I felt sorry for Thanos.
You felt sorry for Thanos?
No, because I do. Because no. I will tell you why. No.
You're a villain sympathizer.
Listen. Wait. I need proof of this.
Don't you dare lie. Don't you dare lie, bro.
How? I believe in truth, justice, liberty, happiness.
You have loved villains. Who is your favorite character in Street Fighter?
What you call it? And also,
who is your favorite character in Street Fighter? Will you answer the question? No, stop your lie. You know it's Bison. Stop your lies. Stop your lies. You know it's Bison.
Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about Street Fighter. So my point is this: I feel sorry for Thanos because remember, Captain Marvel got the freaking premonition from that guy, from that dude. He's like, oh yeah, Thanos gonna take over Earth, but we don't know when. So he's there chilling. He's just there chilling in his floating skull thing, whatever it is in space. He's there just chilling, thinking about what girl to farm, and all of a sudden, this portal opens and it's freaking Avengers in front of his face. Like, wait, why are you here? Why are you in my domain? Like, yeah, Captain Marvel's like, yeah, we'll come to take you in. For what? What did I do? I didn't do nothing. Yeah, okay, so and they will charge him. So he has every right to defend himself, bro.
What do you mean? Has he not done enough in the past for them to be taken?
You think Thanos can do all these things and he can defend himself and say, wait, I haven't done anything this week. All those times that you didn't catch me before.
Oh, but I haven't done anything this time.
Exactly,
I've killed people in the past, but I've done nothing this week.
Yeah, but they stopped him. Obviously, they stopped him though. That's why he has no infinite gold. They stopped him.
But he's escaped. It.
Yeah, but they stopped him, bruv. No. But they didn't. What's called? They beat him though.
No, you're
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. So this time around, he ain't done fuck all. Excuse my French. Sorry. He done sweet FA, and then all of a sudden these Avengers has appeared in his gaff, and he's like, okay, why are you in my house? Why are you in my yard?
But hang on, he was going to do it. That time they were right though.
But when though?
That's how they got him, because they knew where he was gonna be.
And remember as well, Tony did make a good thing, and I don't like Tony. He did say, but if, remember, this guy is just having a what if premonition. He don't know if it's true or not. So
they didn't
that's
know
why
that.
Tony was pissed, bruv.
They didn't
How
know
do you
that
know
at the
that?
time. He only found that out later.
They shouldn't have interrupted man thinking about what girl he's gonna bang. You know what I'm saying?
That's not what he was doing. He was there ready to do some crime, like do some bad universe-ending stuff.
No,
and then
he wasn't. I need to look at that page again because I'm sure he was just chilling. He was literally just jamming.
Let's wrap this up.
But so why do you hate DC so much? Like, what?
Okay, all right. Let's talk about that then. I don't actually hate DC so much. Like, No, I'm not lying. I really like DC. I even not only do I casually read the comics, not religiously, but not only do I casually read them, and I try.
What comics have you read?
Nah, look, we don't have to get into all that. We don't.
That's what I thought.
Right, not only do I casually read, but I keep up to date with the TV shows. Like I watch Arrow, I watch Flash, I watch Legends of Tomorrow, which you don't even watch.
Yeah, because it is crap.
I've been watching Smallville since I was in school.
I
was watching all of these things. Like, I like DC. The only reason why you think I don't like DC is because I have what you call a preference for Marvel, right? I have a preference. That doesn't mean I'm a fanboy. I'm still a centerite. Like, I'm still in the middle.
You're not a centerite. Do you know why? Because
why not?
Drop the link of the Captain Marvel review so everyone can hear him slewing Wonder Woman movie. And what's it called? And even his own cousin looked at him. I think his own brother looked at him because wait, what?
Cousin, Benny,
Benny, that's it.
When you were dissing
what? And even Daryl was like. Agent Daryl.
Of course, Daryl will be. What, another DC resident?
You're going to go tell me that Wonder Woman was a terrible film.
That was
meaningless. You said it was a meaningless film. You said it was meaningless female film, and I'm thinking to myself, wait, hold on. What if anything? If anything, Wonder Woman shows true woman power and feminism, but in the right way, not forced like Captain Marvel, bro.
No, my god.
But
see,
you
this
were like,
is exactly what I'm talking about. Where you just ignore
But anyway, that's another
in my face. Captain Marvel didn't even acknowledge that she was a woman. They just went about doing a film like a normal film. That's my point.
You put that in the movie. You put that in that review.
I can't believe.
Your own words. But yeah, James, put that link in the thing.
That's nothing to do with whether I like or dislike DC. That was Wonder Woman by itself, right? Now,
but still a DC character.
No, but okay, all right. So is Guardians a Marvel thing? So how about that? But anyway,
doesn't mean I hate Marvel. What's it called? I've never ever said I hate Marvel.
I've never said I hate DC. In fact,
my days.
I like DC. I've constantly said I'm a fan of DC comics.
You're not a fan.
That's a bit of a stupid name I'll add anyway.
DC for any little thing, bro.
No,
any little thing.
I'm for every little thing.
Look at the Captain Marvel review. Look at the bloody review, bruv. Always cussing it, bruv. Okay,
anyway, as I was saying, there's certain elements of DC I don't like. Doesn't mean I dislike DC as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But examples. I don't like the way that the writers and the fans treat Batman. That's the first thing.
What?
Second, okay. They put Batman in impossible scenarios, right? And then they just make him achieve his goals without explaining how he's done it, with the only explanation being because he's Batman.
Okay, do you know what? Start gathering your evidence about this because we're doing a podcast and I'm adding this to the list.
It's so bad. People have even made parodies on it. Like, there's so many parodies, especially How It Should Have Ended, a great YouTube channel. They've even parodied the whole thing because I'm Batman. Like, that's the whole thing that they do. And like, so that's the first thing. The second thing I don't like is I don't like the fact that they ruined the film series. They had a good thing going. I was really looking forward to watching the Justice League and those characters pan out on the TV, but they absolutely demolished their own characters. And they don't even have the excuse of character rights. They own the rights to every single character they've ever had, and they still managed to ruin it. I don't know how they've done that. But other than that, yeah, I like DC. And I don't like the name DC Comics as well, actually.
Wait.
Why?
Because it doesn't make sense.
It's called Detective Comics.
Oh, sorry, you didn't finish it there. It's called what?
Detective Comics, bruv.
No, you still didn't finish.
Why?
Do you mean Detective Comics?
No, it's DC. That's all it is.
Oh no,
People just say
no,
DC Comics.
it's not. No, it's not. No,
No,
it's
I
not.
see where. No, I see where
It's
he's coming
called
from. I see
DC
where he's coming from.
Comics.
But
The
he's about
company
to
is called DC Comics.
He's about to CJ himself. But go on.
Okay, the company, the publisher.
Look at the name. Look at the name. What it's called. Look at Detective.
Yeah. So
Right.
Detective.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. And then, you lot don't even know. There's a company called DC Entertainment, right?
Yeah.
A subsidiary of DC Entertainment is DC Comics. That's the publisher, DC Comics.
Yes.
So say that name in full.
What? DC Comics.
Detective Comics.
Look at Detective.
Yeah. I'm looking at it.
Where's the C? Where's the C?
What do you mean, where's the C?
Oh my days.
Bro, DC Comics, is Detective Comics.
No, it is not.
What is it then?
Look at Detective. Look at the word Detective.
Yeah.
Right. Where's the C, man?
What, are you asking me where the C is?
Where's the C? Where's the C?
It's the fifth letter of Detective. What do you mean? Like, what's your point?
Right, DC Comics, Detective Comics.
Oh my God! You're telling me the C stands for Detective. And that's what you're telling me. The C stands for.
No, you know what? I can't. I can't with this guy.
No. This is why you're a DC. What was the thing you called it? Overlord or
Overlord.
This is why you're the flipping thing of DC, because you're actually defending the name.
No,
the Grandmaster. That was it.
Grand Wizard.
Grand Wizard.
All right, so we've had a good debate with the Grand Wizards of Marvel and DC.
No, there's no such thing as Grand Wizard of DC.
Cool.
Only of Marvel. Because you know what? I'm not about to kill someone when they cuss BVS or Wonder Woman or Justice League or Shazam or Aquaman or I'm not gonna kill someone. I respect people's opinions. Whereas you guys, my things, if I dare say imagine if I said Infinity War was crap. Lord,
just remember.
You dare say Infinity War is rubbish.
You see?
Aaron got attacked because he tried to. Well, to be fair, rightfully so. Aaron changed his score on the top 5 films of all times, and he put what was it, Mission Impossible above Infinity War, even though. No, because you know why? Do you know why? Because he gave Infinity War a 9.5 or a 10, and Mission Impossible was like an 8.5.
Right. So maybe he watched it again. Maybe he watched it again and then realized how Infinity War went that good.
I'm not being funny.
He said his reasoning anyway.
Because I did that anyway. I watched it again and I was like, well, this film's actually not. It's got a plot hole galore, but never mind.
Oh, you're such a DCite.
Do you see what I'm saying? People, thank you. Hopefully everyone can hear that. Because I had this talk with I swear it was with you guys anyway in the cinema, not the cinema group, in the Agents of Screen group, and I said what's called Black Panther was better than Infinity War, and I got slew for saying that. You see, here we go again. I get slew.
But do you know what's funny? You went and saw BVS 6 times in the cinema, right?
Yeah.
That plot hole driven film, everything about that film is so horrible. Yet you went and saw it 6 times. You never have a bad thing to say about that film.
No,
you want to talk about Infinity?
Yes, I did.
Almost a cinematic
Yes, I did have many bad things to say about that film. See, yet again, your MSDL mind has Marvel Supremacist Defense League mind has just has just clouded you, fam. Like the cloud over the UK right now, bro. That's what's happened. I don't understand you, bro. You see, as I'm saying, you slew a Marvel film. You become critical of a Marvel film. Be prepared.
No, you can cuss Marvel film. You can cuss Iron Man 3 all you like. You can cuss the first Thor all you like.
Why can't I cuss Infinity War? Why? So you're telling me I have to choose.
What?
No, you're choosing what film I can. What's it?
No.
Socialism. It's just Marvel socialism.
No. Because it's the reasons why you're cussing it. Because you're cussing it just because it's Marvel. So because you're cussing it just because it's Marvel,
no,
then
I'm not.
Say something.
See, that's your opinion that I'm cussing. I'm cussing it because of legit shit that's going on in this film. Excuse my French. That's going on in this film that makes me question this film. That's why I said Black Panther was sick. It was like it was near flawless. The only issue Black Panther was the CGI. That was his suit and everything. It was just bait. It was horrible, especially in Super 4K Republican vision. It's like, oh my gosh, wow! You seen all that? You seen all the impurities of that film.
Do you ever not push agendas?
But what agenda do I have now? I like that film.
You don't even realize you're saying it.
I like Infinity War. I mean, I like Black Panther over Infinity War. What is wrong with that? Why is that an agenda?
Alright, cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be worse. I could have said I prefer Jessica Jones than Infinity War. Imagine me saying that.
I mean, to be fair, that was the best Netflix season out of all of the.
And everyone, that was our bombshell to go. So I hope you all have enjoyed this podcast.
All right, let's wrap this up before we start going into some even more further debate about Jessica Jones.
That is going to be our next podcast. Our next Marvel podcast will be about the Netflix show, guys. So so we'll try and release every bi-weekly when these shows come on. The last thoughts, Ed, before we wrap up.
Yeah, look, last thoughts. I just want to say, like, I'm so proud of what Marvel have done with the MCU. Like, obviously, the comics, I could be more up to date with them, admittedly, but the films, I'm so proud of what they've created, especially considering since they've done it, every flipping film studio and their neighbor wanted to do it as well. You almost had a Transformers cinematic universe. Imagine that, a Transformers cinematic universe where that's already just one series by itself. Technically, the film series already is a Transformers cinematic universe. But then all of a sudden they wanted to make that. Sony wanted to make their one. DC obviously made their one. Tried to do it a bit differently by doing the team up first and then the solos. I respect that they wanted to do it differently. I disagree with doing it that way though. It didn't work. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm so proud of what Marvel have done. I'm looking forward to another 11 plus years of new stories. I actually can't wait. I can't wait to see Endgame and see how this all ends.
Cool, James. What about you?
Yeah, I think that Marvel.
And you've just done a CJ, but never mind.
What? It is coming out next month.
I thought you said this. No, you said this month.
No, I said next month. Wow, don't hold that CJ on your chest, boy. But anyway.
I allow you.
Yeah, no, Marvel done a sick job from the cartoon shows, the comics, everything. And they've got a very good formula. The cinematic universe is very impressive. And it's something that they have a very good strong point in. They may not have a good strong point in cartoon films, but they have a very strong point in cinematic films. And that it clearly shows from the good foundation they've had, and then they keep on building it up. So, like I said, I am looking forward to the continuation of the next chapter of Marvel Cinematic Universe for sure.
Yeah. See, I even want to call it the next book. I reckon that's an entire book done.
Yeah, I'd say that. That's fair. If they're going to call that the, this is the whole Infinity War saga, I'd say that's probably the end of the graphic novel for that.
Just Infinity Saga.
Yeah, it's Infinity Saga. It's not War.
Yeah, the Infinity Saga. So that's the end of Infinity Saga. Then we'll get on to hopefully will be the next one, which is Doom. Jeez.
Or Galactus.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Galactus. All right, people. So Infinity War Endgame is coming out 24th of April. So make sure you all have your tickets ready. y'all are gonna get ready for that film. It's gonna be
100%.
We are
100%. Let's hope it's.
All right,
Let's hope it's better than. Let's hope it's better than the previous one. And I still think Black Panther is going to be better than that film, but we'll see. And let's hope Captain America is going to do also more than a 3-hit combo on Thanos. I am just dreading, I'm hoping and I'm praying, I really am praying that Cap is not going to die. I just, if he dies, oh my God, it's the end of America. It is the end of America. It is the end for liberty, pursuit of happiness, justice for all. It's the end. It is the end.
I'm gonna be upset because I will
cry. I will legitimately cry.
I'm gonna be upset.
I will cry. And you will never see me for
those manly tears.
Yep, those manly tears will come out, man. Literally. But yep. So yeah, Ed, buy those tickets. Gallery.
Yeah.
The gallery. Do a special review. I mean, a special review on that one. People just watch the. Put the link. Don't forget to put the link, James, for the first one that we did.
Put a link.
And I'm just trying to think. Is there any more Marvel stuff? If you guys want to really watch it, there's Dark Phoenix coming out. That's the 7th of June. That's the 7th.
There's no point in watching it because that universe is dead now.
Yeah, exactly. There's literally no point. I actually saw the trailer for that. I was not impressed. And the only reason why I saw the trailer was because I was watching another film in the cinema and it just came on. I never would have actually bothered to click on YouTube for that ever in my entire life.
And I'm going to do it anyway. 3rd of April, people, or the 5th of April as well. Shazam,
I knew it. Shazam on the Marvel podcast.
Has to be done. Shazam. I don't care about anyone else in DC apart from Shazam. You guys know this.
I might put in an account. I might put an account of like the amount of time DC was referenced in this Marvel podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what you did? Yeah, you should do. Yeah, when we editing this here, did a count. How much time Batman came up? He's such a controversial character. That's going to be a big podcast, people. Stay tuned. Tuned.
That will be in parts. I guarantee you that will be in parts.
Make sure Daryl's there.
Oh yeah,
Daryl's there.
Agent Daryl's got to be there.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get that sorted out for Daryl to come into the podcast for that.
Definitely.
But we've been Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time. Peace.